How's everyone doing? We're so happy to have all of you from around the world with us. If you're new here, welcome to the family. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So, the Yemeni armed forces just announced the first military clash on the border with Saudi Arabia, and it happened at a very strange time. Nobody really knows who started it, but according to Sky News, their reporter said there was an exchange of fire between the Saudi forces and the Yemeni armed forces. The Saudis apparently fired on positions held by the Ansar group, and the Yemenis responded by firing mortars back at Saudi positions. It's a weird and confusing time for this to happen, especially since Yemen, including the Ansar movement and their military, has been saying that their only focus right now is breaking the siege on Gaza and supporting the oppressed people there. So the idea that the Saudis would initiate gunfire now just doesn't make much sense. Again, this is according to Sky News, which reported that Saudi forces opened fire in the Najran region. The Yemeni forces then responded with mortar attacks. Some civilian casualties in Yemen were also reported. It's a small headline, but it could have a big impact on the Saudi-Yemeni border situation. Things have actually been calm between the two sides for a long time now, especially after Saudi Arabia began an important dialogue with Iran. So for clashes to break out now is just confusing. No one really knows if this is going to turn into a bigger conflict or if it's just isolated incidents. The press source didn't clarify. Now to the second major story. The United States is putting massive pressure on China to stop supplying weapons, equipment and military infrastructure to the Yemeni armed forces and the Ansar movement. The reports say China and Russia too are the main countries helping Yemen with satellite technology and drones. That kind of military capability, especially being able to strike from long distances and avoid detection, is freaking out the United States and its allies. Why? Because if Yemen gets its hands on advanced weapons, it could become a serious threat to Israel, and control over the Red Sea could shift completely to Yemen and Ansar Allah. That's a major concern for the United States and the British too. They don't want to see a small country like Yemen gaining control over Red Sea security and navigation. American sources and media outlets have reported that there's a deal between the Yemeni military and China. Yemen gets specific weapons, drones and military tech in exchange for allowing Chinese ships complete freedom of movement through the Red Sea, as long as those ships aren't carrying any weapons or equipment to Israel. In return, Yemen would support China's and Russia's vetoes in the United Nations Security Council, especially on issues related to sanctions against the Houthis and the Yemeni military. So basically, it's, we'll let your ships pass freely, but you've got to back us at the United Nations. There's also reportedly growing military cooperation between Yemen and China. Many Chinese civilian and military companies are already operating in Yemen or shipping gear there via Yemeni ports. On top of that, some Gulf Arab news sites say the Yemeni Military Council has been reshuffled and now includes new members. They've even renamed it the Supreme Jihad Council in anticipation of possible upcoming Israeli attacks, whether on Yemen's coastlines, the capital Sana'a, or even Iran. So this is part of broader preparations in case Israel or the United States launches a strike if the nuclear deal with Iran collapses. So what we're seeing here is Iran getting ready for possible war, and Yemen stepping up to support them just in case things explode. That's why this restructuring of the Yemeni military leadership is so significant. It could be a sign that diplomacy between the United States and Iran is breaking down, and things might get very tense in the coming days. Now for the third and really important story. Israel just got exposed, big time, in front of the entire world. They literally hijacked the ship Madeleine, right in front of everyone, on camera, with sound and video. The ship had 12 activists from different countries who were trying to deliver symbolic aid to Gaza. They weren't bringing weapons or huge shipments of supplies, just small amounts, as a show of solidarity with the people of Gaza, who are suffering under constant attacks. Their main goal was to break the blockade and show support. Out of nowhere, Israel sent aircraft, dropped some kind of incendiary substance on the ship, dragged it to Ashdod port, and detained all 12 activists on board. Then the Israeli Foreign Ministry put out a statement saying the activists were trying to provoke the media and the world against Israel, as if Israel is some big sovereign state under threat. But here's the thing, the ship was headed to Gaza, which is not even under Israeli sovereignty. Gaza is part of the Palestinian Authority, so anyone has the right to deliver aid there by sea. But instead, Israel, as an occupying power, decided to hijack the ship and detain activists from all over the world. Now, the whole world is watching, seeing clearly the kind of crimes Israel is committing. And that's exactly why Yemen, when it launches missiles at Tel Aviv or targets Israel, sees it as a legitimate act of defense. For the people of Gaza,